Hello and welcome to On the Same Landing Page, episode 4. Today's episode is going to look a little bit different than usual. Instead of having a guest on or a client on, we are going to be interviewing our very own marketing manager, Jason Morton, about our inbound sales process.
Just did the creepiest wave. Sorry, carry on.
A little bit about us. We're Presence. We're an inbound marketing agency in Macclesfield. Jason, I've introduced you as the marketing manager. What's an inbound agency?
It's not in the script. An inbound agency. Well, we focus on the whole thing. So from the moment that your customer's a stranger or your target audience, they're a stranger to your business, they just know they've got a bit of a problem that they need solving, that you help people solve. We are trying to make sure that your message is in front of them and nurturing them and educating them from that point right the way through to them being a customer, and then even using them as customers to get more customers. So from right the way down the funnel, basically. That's what an inbound agency does. They look at from the ads to the SEO, how you get your traffic, to the email nurturing, how you nurture them further, to NPS surveys and thereafter.
Thanks for joining us. That's the end of the episode today, guys. No, I'm just kidding. So a little bit of a brief overview of inbound marketing. Obviously, it's far more complex, so we're going to dive into that a little bit. What sort of problems might people have? You've touched on it there. People come to us with a problem and we give them a solution. So what might be the problem?
I think the most common story we get is that someone new has joined the business. That's probably the key trigger for us in terms of a new project to work on. Either they've got a new budget, they're tired of their old agency, or someone new has joined the business. Now that new person could be the person we work with, the marketing manager or director, or it could be someone above that. It could be the CEO or new director. They feel like they need a new change, a new direction in terms of how they generate leads and grow the business. And they're asked, therefore, to get some support on that and get it from the experts and people that have done it a few times over. I always forget the question when I start answering. But so what we do is basically help them with that and help them figure out what their customers' trigger points are. Yeah. What is it that gets them to need their services?
So what might be some of the internal problems though? Like, the director might want to shake up. There might be a marketing manager. But what specific business issues can we help assist with?
Well, it kind of falls into about 6 stages. So first of all, your strategy, how you put together your plan. So that might be looking at your customer user journey, mapping that out, working out where your resources are, working out who your personas are and who your audience is that your messaging needs to target. How you attract people. So how you get people in at the beginning. So that could be through SEO, through paid ads, through organic social, whatever it may be. How you then convert them into people that are really interested, they're leads and can be nurtured from that point. How you close that business. So how your sales team is supported by your marketing team to turn them into customers. And then I'm working out how far into the 6 I am. And then how you report on all of that. So do you have analytics review set up so that you're actually looking at the data and working out how you can attribute the success of those campaigns to the channels that brought them there? I'm hoping I got 6 done. If I didn't, I'll put them in the notes after.
Leave all of this in. So what, other than the issues that people have to deal with, why might someone seek out to work with an agency, particularly a marketing manager, for example?
Someone to hold accountable to keep you accountable is one. Bit like maybe when you go to the gym and you might want a personal trainer, they can keep a stock of everything that you're doing, why you're doing it, question maybe when you're feeling low, what it is that might be driving that, and how you can measure success and what is success to you. It's just having someone else there that's kind of I don't want to say holding your hand because it sounds patronizing, but is in the struggle with you, because it is a bit of a struggle. It starts off with all this energy. Everyone's excited. You've just got some new budget or whatever it is, and a lot of direction, a lot of kind of energy. And then it very quickly becomes daunting because everything you do is seen by the whole company. So if it's you that's the new person in the company, everything you do is going to be kind of questioned and criticized by I mean, everyone's got an opinion on the website, right? Everyone's got an opinion on the marketing and the messages, whether you've been trained in that or not, or got experience in that. So it helps to have us on board because we can kind of lead back to data and best practice that's been shared across other industries or even the same industry. And I think it just gives you a little bit more, I was going to say pedigree, like I've never used that word before, but a little bit more to your decision-making process. So it's based in data rather than kind of maybe opinion or ego.
Yeah, and more often than not, these big problems that people come with, they come with like a shopping list, right? And it can be a bit daunting, a bit scary, like you say, all eyes are on you. So how do we interpret their brief, if you like, and break it down, make it manageable, achievable? Like, what's our planning strategy?
Yeah, I guess what I'd say, what this is going to be is a little bit of a cheat code for how to get the most out of an agency without even paying them any money. This is all you need to do is go through that first stage when you're at the beginning of a project whereby you need to generate leads or new business or you need to grow. Go to the agency and go through a discovery phase. What you'll get from that is a breakdown of, you'll probably go to them with a list of things that you want and with good reason that you've had internal discussions. What they'll do if they're a good agency is break down the reasons why. Why do you want that particular thing? Is it because you saw it on a competitor's website? Yeah. Is it because you saw it on ASOS? Is it because you saw it on a website that you really like? Or is it because you actually think that will do the job? Or is there other reasons to it? Is there revenue-based reasons to the decisions you're making? And what we'll get from that is we'll strip it right back down to the reasons for everything that are going into your marketing strategy and really try and base it back to your user experience and what your user's looking for and what kind of things can attract them and get them to join your business as a customer. Yeah, I think that's it.
So yeah, so it's about kind of like making sensible decisions that are informed by data and not just driven on ego and that sort of thing. Like you say, it can be so easy for people to, their mates told them they've done something and that's worked for them, so they'll approach you and be like, oh, I want to do this kind of thing. And we're kind of like, not talking them off the cliff edge, but just making them look at how high up they are kind of thing.
Yeah, I think as well, like that's exactly it. I think there's the amount of times that I've been in rooms where people have said, you know, my daughter loves this and it's all about this at the moment, or they'll reference people that really don't fit their target customer, you know, or we should get on TikTok. That's the most common one at the moment, right?
Oh God, we hear that so much.
Yeah, and sometimes it's like valid, like to try and experiment new things, but a lot of the times, why are you asking that question? Have you asked the question to experiment because you know that it could work and you've got a really good kind of feeling, and maybe your customers have been asking about it and that kind of thing, which is, I think, really good? Or are you doing it because it feels like something new and exciting and it will just make the tedium of your job a little bit more interesting and you'll feel like you're part of the movement that maybe works for your sons and daughters but doesn't work if you're selling building materials?
So we talked a little bit about inbound marketing strategy and the discovery. What's the difference between an inbound strategy versus a collection of campaigns? Because so many people out there will run some digital ads around Christmas because they want a boost in sales, or do a little bit of SEO, write some blog posts, that kind of thing. So what's the difference between those services together and an inbound strategy?
This is going to sound like I planned it, but I've extended an old analogy that I use. So it's the difference between going to the pharmacy and asking for throat pills.
Throat pills. You heard it here first.
Yeah. No, you know, like going in and say, like, and just buying them from them and just saying, I want them. That's your kind of campaign, right? We need some more leads at Christmas. We need some more traffic to the website. You go there and say, can you sort us out with that? You say, yes, I can. Who's the audience? And they give you everything that's there. And you don't ask too many questions, right? That's the collection of campaigns. You got the traffic. Maybe we don't try too much. And we do that as well. We do that well. We generate leads for people that way. But all the while, the inbound approach is about slowing that down and asking you why. And that is like going to the doctors. And you go to the doctors and you tell them you're not feeling good. And they ask you why, what's happened, and how is it that you feel this way, and when did it start, and when did it finish, and have you had this before, and is it any of this in your family? And they really understand the problem first before they go into the solution. And that's really what the kind of discovery process is like. And the difference between inbound is that we give you treatment for the whole thing, and we take into consideration every ailment you've had before and your whole diet and your whole kind of journey through that, as opposed to just selling you some throat lozenges. So you can tell I've got a great throat. So yeah, and so basically we just ask, why do you think a landing page is needed? Why do you think the website should look like this? Is it because of your competitors? Is it because you love other websites that are based on different audiences? So why do you think the things you think? And they may be really valid. They probably are. Most of the time they are. There also may be some noise in there that actually isn't the best approach, and it's based on maybe ego or opinion, or it's based on just your mate's thoughts. Or
they've read a WebMD article and they're telling you, I've got these symptoms and this condition, kind of things.
Yeah, or you've watched a podcast and heard it from that. So, and that's fine. We just want to work out the real reasons why, and also what would the business be, what will be successful for the business, actually in terms of revenue, actually in terms of your audience, and how do we speak to those people, as opposed to just getting you traffic. Because in the end, we send you 100 people to your website. What happens to them after? We don't, we can keep doing that, but eventually you're going to say to us, oh, they're bad leads. Well, they might be, because we probably haven't done the work beforehand to work out what would make a good lead and what gets a good lead. And then when a good lead comes, what keeps the good lead interested and nurtures them further. So I think that's kind of the difference between inbound. It's the whole journey, as opposed to just holding a sign up in a market and saying, come and buy this. Yeah.
So we've touched a little bit on the discovery process, and to further extend the doctor metaphor, just like going to the doctors, it takes a bit longer to get to the crux of it sometimes, because they're really getting to know, like you say, your background, your ailments, etc. So what sort of things do we ask in a discovery process? What's the time scale? What happens next? What are the next steps after that, I guess that's what I'm asking.
This isn't you going on an NHS rant again, are you? Is it?
No, that if you want to see my NHS rant, follow me on YouTube.
No, the month one workshops, learning. We're not trying to give you any solutions at that point, which can be quite frustrating. But month one is, apart from what we'll tell you, is what we'll do in terms of a strategy generally, but it might not work for your particular business and your audience. So month one is learning about your business and your audience. We get your sales teams who know a hell of a lot about your customer, and we ask them questions about your audience. And if we can do some research, it's even better. But we just want to know who they are. Who's your best customer? The one that you wish, if you could just duplicate them 5 times over, business would be sweet. Maybe they're low maintenance, they pay well, they pay on time. Where do they live, and what do they look like? And more so, not even what do they look like, what do they do, and what triggers them to buy? Digitally
speaking, we're not like stalking people's houses and
yeah.
looking at their faces, kind of thing.
Yeah. Well, you're not. This is how we get results, Astra. This is the real story. So that's month one, is just finding out that. We'll build out buyer personas based on that, and not stuff like has a dog named Tilly and things like that. We're just finding out in February they're worried about the budget, and this is what they do to fix that problem. Things like that, like trigger behaviors that we can perhaps help with, that get your name in their face, really. We also look at the systems you've got, the APIs that we will need to maybe build to make sure that everything sings together and that the reporting and the data looks good. And then we'll look at the keyword research. So we'll just make sure that we can do it. Honestly, some of these discovery processes will work out quite quickly that we can't actually help, because the keyword research has told us that there's so much competition in terms of SEO and PPC.
Yeah.
It's too expensive for what you're trying to sell to target those keywords. So you can learn from that even, and that's fine. We can get to that point and work out it's not the right fit for this service, then it's not the right fit. But we'll do that research at the discovery phase. And then in month one, we'll do extended research into that as well to make sure that you're getting the right traffic and it's the right people that are coming to search those keywords. And then in month two, we'll start with the strategy. We'll produce a strategy, we'll present it to you, we'll talk you through it, talk through the plan for months 3, 4, and 5. Month 3 will normally be the first big campaign and content piece, which we'll write ourselves if that's the package you've gone for. And then we'll review it in month 4. And that kind of changes with each client as to how quickly we go, and depending on the budget, but that's kind of the timelines.
And you touched a little bit there that like sometimes in the discovery process we get to down to the nitty gritty, which is a phrase that I don't like, and I can't believe I just said it. But when we get down there, that it's not the right fit. So what's a good fit for this kind of service, typically speaking?
If you're selling a business, a service or a product that takes anything after maybe 2 months to sell, or there's a consideration period, maybe even 12 weeks, anything more than that. 2 months is less than 12 weeks. Yes, basically a complex buying process, in the sense that it might involve a lot of different stakeholders in the company that will be buying from you. And it's normally quite pricey. That's why it's complex, right? A lot of people need to sign it off first. Those kind of things this is perfect for, because we're providing digital touch points for people that are being educated on it. So you're known by the customer early on in the process, and they can start building that trust with you. If you're buying a t-shirt, for example, or some trainers, you don't necessarily need that. There's been some brand awareness stuff from the brand that you're buying from, but you know what style you like, and you can just pay for it. Then you'll join the newsletter, and those newsletters will kind of market to you and influence you as well.
Yeah.
But it doesn't justify the offer that we have. The inbound marketing approach doesn't justify the price that they'll end up paying your business. It'll be like £5 up to £100. We're working in really complex sales cycles, and we're trying to nurture them along that journey, as well as their colleagues as well, so that you're not, when it comes to the decision of shall we go with your company or someone else, everyone around that decision-making table has heard of you before and goes, well, we know these guys. They've been putting the right content out on this. They're the knowledge experts. Let's buy from them.
Yeah, so we kind of become an extension of the team, I guess, rather than just a service provider who gets leads kind of thing. So kind of in the same vein as that question, that wasn't a question, statement. The next question is, what's the difference in people who go for this kind of service in terms of results, relationship, things like that?
The transparency, I guess we really do understand a lot more about the business, and you do really become your clients. That's why we're doing a lot of promoting at the moment, so that we can pick clients that we want to become, because we do end up knowing a lot about, at the moment, building materials and manufacturing processes and things like that. Because we know already about those things,
we're dead dull in the pub.
I think it makes solutions better because they're well researched. We're not copying and pasting what works. We can be influenced by best practices, but we're not just saying, well, this worked for this company, so you're going to have this, and just kind of putting someone really junior on it and just saying, well, just copy this and paste it to this company. What we're doing is getting the whole team around, and focusing on what makes your audience tick and working out the strategy from there. So they're it's data-driven decisions, and it sounds a bit like a catchphrase, but it's making sure we're doing things because they are right, not because they feel good. They're proven, not because they just seem like that's where the industry is going. So it's looking at the data, and also so you just get better results really if you go through this route. And seeing us as a partner is obviously good for us, because we can experiment with different things, and we've got the freedom to try things that we think will work when it comes down to your ads campaigns or your SEO or your emails.
So we've talked a lot about the inbound process. We've covered all the bits I know, but I'm not the expert by any means. So as the in-house inbound marketing specialist, have I missed anything?
I guess just the plug.
Just do the plug.
Yeah, I think you will lose nothing except a little bit of time from speaking to an agency, laying your cards on the table, saying what you've tried, what you haven't tried, and having the conversation. If you've got a good enough budget, if you've got growth targets, and you want to, if you want to grow by 100,000 in a year, and you're not sure how you can do that, and maybe you're a small team and you're working with a company that has got a lot of non-marketing kind of trained people in it, speak to an agency. You're perfect for it. What they'll do is, in the discovery phase, you'll learn so much about it. And even if you don't do the inbound marketing afterwards, you'll learn so much about how you can approach the process. And it will change you from looking at a collection of safe campaigns that maybe you won't get fired. You probably won't get fired, but it also, they'll never really get you a promotion because the algorithm can never really learn for long enough. There's not enough data. There's not enough lead nurturing. It's not all brought together under one roof and you haven't got an agency also keeping on top of it and helping you keep on top of it. Yeah. And it's a lot to do as a small marketing team. So start the conversation. And I don't think any agency is going to hate you for having that conversation with you. When we do that and people end up changing their minds and don't do it, we just consider them a lead that we continue to nurture. Yeah. In the same way as you do probably with your own businesses, your own kind of prospects. Mm-hmm. So yeah, just have a conversation with an agency. We actually happen to be one. So get in touch with us if you're not.
Okay, so I'm going to hit you with some surprise questions at the end of the pod.
Oh, great.
So usually we ask everybody these on the podcast. You've been there, you've asked the questions, so you know what's coming kind of. Quick fire. If you had to order all of these marketing materials in order of importance to you and your marketing strategy, with the first one being the most important and the last one being the one you'd get rid of if you had to, which order would you put them in? A, 1, PPC. B, social media, email marketing, SEO.
Okay, we've got a terrible PPC department, so
Blasphemy.
I haven't seen any value in that at all, so that will go 4th. Social media, I've struggled to ever go viral myself, so I'm going to put that 3, but I don't think it's necessary.
What was it you were saying about ego-driven decisions before? Sorry, can we just circle back to that?
Yeah, I think the LinkedIn and Facebook just crucify you if you're a business on social now.
I think you're just bitter because you just don't get the likes on LinkedIn that you want.
Yeah, that too. It's changing, all right? It's changing. I just don't focus on my brand.
It doesn't count
enough.
if you ask everyone in the office to like your post, Jason. It doesn't count.
That actually happened today. Yeah. And then SEO top. Honestly, if I had the money and I had my own business and I had my own website, SEO is just the best investment you can make. And then what was the second one?
Email marketing. You've done this in you've gone 4, 3, 1, 2.
Yeah. Well, I know SEO is good. PPC obviously is really second. It's the best way to get quick results. At the moment, it's cost effective depending on your your product. That is slowly changing. So you should do it now. Get your own group of customers, and then you can market to them via your email campaigns, which is a very close third.
And social media can get lost.
I mean, I'm just too old maybe for it.
Yeah, I think that's probably the problem.
Yeah.
You should get on TikTok.
Yeah. Nice.
Okay, second question. Going back to not getting fired. How confident are you in your current marketing strategy?
10.
Obviously, yeah. I mean, it's absolutely solid.
Yes, brilliant.
That strategy.
It's tip top.
Tip top. Here we go. Qualitative data.
You really have turned into a radio DJ with that mic.
I know, well, I've got the mic now, so you know. Scream if you want to go faster.
Is that the question?
No, it's not. It's a niche reference to radio DJ. Never mind. What do you think is the most important factor in improving that score from a 10 to a 10.5? I should have mentioned it's out of 100, so really you should be aiming higher.
Results. Continual good results. That's the most important thing. That's all we care about. No, we care about people.
And causes as well. The climate, definitely.
Yeah, I think about people too. Obviously, you get results. You want to get results for the right people. That's why you do this stuff, so you can pick the people you work with. That's such a professional answer, but yeah.
That's all right. Okay, there's no more questions.
Cool.
Time is up.
Wicked.
Thanks for listening.
Yeah, thank you very much. Please just get in contact. I'm not this weird. Normally, I'm just showing off for the cameras.
Bye.
Bye.